to my rig. Holocymatic Orchestration, the art and science of conscious creation. Holographic, where the blueprint for the whole is found everywhere in the creation. Cymatic being the resonant pattern of the instructions, the sound coming through. Orchestration is the conscious intention of birthing thought realms like a conductor with your body-brain, your body-mind. I don't make a separation between soul and mind and brain and body. It's the same medium. Today we're going to project this revealing across time and space teleempathically to 1,000 generations ahead, 1,000 generations back. This revealing is going to your childhood, to day one of elementary school, in a way that your body will receive it across time and space, and you will be living as if you had already seen this in your childhood. Today we release the idea, I woulda, shoulda, it would have been nice. That's done. The scale of us, if we were to image, holocymatically project the enormity of our presence, what might that resonate like? What would be the cymatic pattern of you birthing into this existence? We have instruments that measure the background radiation, the magnetic, the different fields of particles, photons, muons, electrons, neutrinos, and we build maps. This is one of the latest maps of the event horizon, the farthest that we, at this civilization, could see. This isn't the most advanced. There's been others. And a little bit closer in diameter to that vision is all of the magnetic and gravitic fields. And closer to that is the visible spectrum of space, the trillions of galaxies we've already mapped out. And within that is contained our little sphere of our solar system, Sun, Earth, us. And we can examine that entire scene. There is nothing hidden in this creation. There is nothing censored about it. We can examine every molecule, every movement of creation with this body. We have enough cells and processes in this very vessel to examine all the galaxies with our trillions of eyes, all of the molecules, the star maps, the planetary history of just our nearby neighbors. So when we say I, let us come from the I, the visual eye I just shown. It is an eye of you looking at itself. How big is that? And if we were to zoom into that, zoom into the first eye, where that energetic vision is continually unfolding as a star in this body, what is in that singularity, the singular thought, the singular voice, the birth of hydrogen thoughts. This is an image of a hydrogen molecule as close as we have seen it at the moment. Let's go into that. It is a resonant pattern, a field that has the holocymatic instruction, the fields, that's pure energy that can express this existence. It's in us everywhere. And if we were to go inside of that singularity, what is in there? The universe is in there. Those colleagues of mine at the Large Hadron Collider are looking for the God particle, the basic elements, and what they're going to find is another universe inside every muon, and every gluon is going to wreck their brains, because they're going to have to build a bigger monster to destroy bigger particles, to look inside the universe, inside the universe, inside the universe. It's something that cannot be grasped in synthesis, cannot be abstracted, cannot be detailed. And that whole creation, within a creation, was visualized by our soul presence, our infinite nature. From pre-existence, we were dreaming it, and we're still dreaming it. What is this holocymatic orchestrator? That is you. Could you, in this body, as it is, stand in front of everything that you are? Could you visualize what that might be like? Would it look like a radiance of energy? Would this body burn out? Invite yourself to contemplate. Could you see your true dreamer lucidly orchestrating this reality? What is in this ovum, in this womb? What is this energy that projects it? Why does this have to be linear? It isn't linear. We're linearizing it to help our mind. As we are explaining this, we are inviting our mind, brain, processes, creation ability to create new structures. From this moment forward, we will not have ideas. We won't think of something. We will birth realms. Whatever that invokes, our thoughts are entire realms to be explored and lived in as vortices of consciousness. We will no longer think in discrete thoughts. We will create realms. Because from that cosmic womb, that cosmic source, we have access to electricity and water and plasma and crystal and sound and magnetism and gravitics, gravity. And how many forces are there? Infinite. We are not going to get to the theory of everything until we deal with the physics of infinity. Infinite exponents, infinite variables, infinite creation. There are no experiments here, there's only creation. There's no prototyping, there's only creation. There's no testing, I'm going to try. You're only creating from this place. That is what we invoke in the cosmic womb in this transformation we're in right now. To have direct access, because it's still going on. From this place, the dream is that big. The star maps of everything that is what we have access to. When you walk into a room, this walks into the room. Is there anything in this reality to contradict this enormity? I speak with the templates of the universe. I invoke thought realms that create universes. And the so-called ideas I come up with in this lifetime are based on this voice. Within this field are the star maps, the Akashic recording of every hydrogen molecule that created every other element in this table of elements that's going to be infinite. We already up to what? 130 elements on the whatever it is? Imagine infinite. How many stars have I been? It's in this body, the answer. How many transformations and molecular orbits have I experienced and been transformed by? That's written in that origin story. When you learn the table of elements, hydrogen, helium, librium, and you work your way up, they're not discrete, they're infinite. In between hydrogen and helium, there's an infinity of states that move toward hydrogen or more toward helium. Our way of expressing this in mathematics and in physics will have to be the infinite spectrum between molecules. Our umbilical from source is nurturing itself from its own vision. I am creating myself, and that is what nurtures me, is a loop to contemplate. And when we look at the different cymatic shapes that these hydrogen atoms create, these are predictions from a computer model called the Schrödinger equation. It's a mathematical prediction that we don't have the old world atomic going around a nucleus. We have point clouds that shape themselves into different patterns. We have this pattern here and that pattern here. That's the holocymatic orchestration of matter. And our thought realms look like this a little bit. Always shape-shifting. When we talk about shape-shifting, we're talking about shifting the form of our thought intentions. I can shift my thought to do with technology. I can shift that to be about water or food or housing or the future of humanity. It has a shape to it. So let's just take a breath for a moment. Let that first wave just settle into all your neurons. All of the processes going on in this body, because we're going to start turning the knobs to ascend, to amplify the bandwidth beyond what you thought was possible to contain in your body. You are a child. You are your version of you at 5 years old right now, first hearing this. And you are the future unfolding for other generations. So, in this existence are all of the instruments to contemplate the existence. There's nothing hidden, and we can configure those instruments. Within contemplating existence, self-realizing, when a telescope looks at faraway galaxies, we have something called spherical bending, spherical aberrations. We think that because one galaxy is closer to you and another galaxy is further away, the gravitic field of those thought realms create an instrument for you to be able to zoom in and see what's behind it. And these little streaks that we see from the James Webb Telescope are thoughts moving faster than creation, faster than the speed of light. The scientists are racking their brains right now on that one. How could we have a fully formed galaxy toward the edge of the event horizon that is older than the known universe? We have galaxies right now that we're looking at. Think of them as light beams, star family, angelic versions of you that are older than 14 billion years, moving faster than the speed of light, not by 1 order, 2 orders, thousands of orders of magnitude, faster than what we thought was existence itself. Those of us who've contemplated consciousness are like, all right, finally we've arrived. where I wanted to talk about. Remember I told you that we're creating ourselves faster than we can create ourselves? That the universe is expanding so fast, you couldn't measure it if you wanted to. There's no ruler or formula that could tell you how fast that's happening, because all of that breaks down. We have in this system the ability to visualize segments of universal structures. These little blue waves are galactic filaments made of millions of galaxies, and they have structure, they have patterns to them. Could we teach ourselves and children and future generations to visualize at this scale segments of universal structures? The answer is of course. We can voxelize space, meaning we can create a pixel that is a vortex in multi-dimensions. That is a voxel. These are simulations made from observations of galactic filaments. You know, our section of our galaxy wouldn't even be seen in this, because these filaments are made of billions of galaxies, neural networks, fibers that are mycelial, like roots and lightning through the medium. What is Creator, Creatress doing here? We are self-realizing, expanding our surface area so that we can interact with the medium of our own creation. We're hugging and touching everything we're creating. And we're going to fractalize, because when you zoom in to your skin, there's more surface area. And you zoom in to lava, and there's more surface area. And anything that's alive and sentient has infinite surface area, infinite capacity, infinite presence. Put some of those in the formulas, please. This is a computer model using a bank of computers throughout the world. We've taken the laboratories of like 24 major processing centers. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of computers to generate imagery of what a supernova event looks like. And this is a slice of it. Bless you. When a star goes supernova, what happens to its core? What happens to the energy in between? And what is happening here on the edges where the star is transmuting its matter into light? It's becoming a light being that is an infinite surface area. This is a cell. This is an ovum, inseminated and ready to give life. Because when I have chosen to experience life as a star, and eventually I ascend to a nebula state, I've become a being. If you were to zoom into my body, what might that look like? Well, we have these storms of energy, a wavefront of creation, gravity waves of your presence. What is my body at that time? Where is my brain? Where is my mind? It's everywhere. You're birthing universes. This is what a thought realm might look like. This is a map of the known creation. All of the galaxies, by all the instruments stacked all at once. This is what one of our thoughts might look like. One of our visions. Instant creation, spontaneous, intelligent creation. Science is also racking its systems on this, having a very difficult time. Good, I say good. Crack your brain open.
I just want to say that Christina took a beautiful image of, or video of the orbs coming out of that cave, and like, that's what that is to me.
Oh, wow.
We'll put it up on share time.
Yeah, let's do that.
We have instruments. These are the names of the telescope. Some of these are in orbit. And the wavelength that they measure. One solar observation in all of these wavelengths based on the instrument. I don't know the names of all the instruments, by the way. You, in your body, in your mind, in your retina, have the capacity of an infinite spectrum. You couldn't map it, but just to give you an idea, when I'm looking at the sun, I am observing creation at all spectrums. Don't even need to divide them into frequencies. This is another view on one of those supernova events. This might be what's going on in your body at the moment. When you're, oh, I have an idea of the future. I have this invention I want to do. I have this thing we should do with children. Or what would happen if when you did get that idea, you restructured your body, the water in your vessel, to receive it like a womb? Thank you for being present and illuminating from within. I'm going to gestate you as a form of sentience. Your ideas are living consciousness, not to be subjugated, limited, curtailed, limited in any way. The first thing you do is give it infinite creative freedom. What if we birthed and received our ideas in kindness and in love like a child and nurtured it to be living in creative freedom? Feed it, continual love. Visit it like a garden, because it never dies.
What I love about this is it looks like an entire being right here.
I was thinking the
Yeah.
same thing.
Me
Oh my
too.
gosh, kind of a big head, but you know.
Yeah. Like a sentient being that is out
Yes.
creating in multidimensional fields of existence.
Yes, yes.
When we are able to orchestrate with the instrumentation of cymatic patterns of molecules, the basic elements that we know of: water, magnetism, crystal energy, electricity, plasma, and all the other ones that we know of, and be able to project fields of motion and galactic creation. This is a slice of a computer model of galactic filaments, just a little piece.
That looks like a whale.
It has. It's a living.
Oh, isn't that interesting? Probably what follows the whale around.
Let us zoom in to what these crystals might look like in our pineal. We have a whole module called biomineralization. When organics turn and transmute themselves into a fossilized version of a thought, it's taken an idea, a lifetime, chemistry, amino acids, and infinitizing them so they would last forever as a crystal structure. And these rhomboids are embedded in your tissue. How many are there in your body? As many as there are galaxies. This is a close-up of a plant. In its cellular structure, there are embedded Merkaba fields of crystals. All life is biomineralizing. There's no aspect of any living thing that is not turning into crystal. This means you can bring in everything you know about light. Refracting, reflecting, vibrating. DNA has a light language of biomineralization to create crystal fields in tissue, in your body, in plants that we eat. And there's light patterns going through all of this. That's another way to think about what does a thought realm look like. It looks like a field of infinite refraction. We are those prisms of light. Our body is able to take our own creation, our own light, and transmute it into another form, another rainbow with another spectrum, and that comes back and it goes fed back into your body again, and it's an infinite loop. As you're progressing through your life, your crystal nature is transmuting infinitely with infinite surface area. When we are going through trauma and stress and depression, our crystal refraction ability changes. And when we are in clarity and in coherence, it changes too. This is an image of a refraction pattern of a laser going through a small crystal and looking at the laser image on one plane, just a two-dimensional slice. I think this is iridium. This is a multidimensional field. It's a star map. You could contemplate this and say, how many patterns could I find here? Infinite. This is a way to see, have a sense, what does one of these cymatic thoughts look like going through one of my crystals in one piece of my pineal, or my skin, or my blood, or my bones, or my tissue, or my ligaments, or my endocrine system, my blah, blah, blah. Every aspect of our body is a crystal structure refracting light. It's sending images to water, to structures of cellular eyes, to nutrition, to neurotransmitters. Tune into that. Speak from that place. I am an infinite refractory generator. I am a creator of multidimensional language, and I can look and ask myself questions, because not only could I manage that computer, I can bring all of the reconfigurations I want in this body. I reconfigured my body for this talk immediately. Biomineralization of all life, being that source refraction interacts with all the levels of everything on this planet. The plants know you're there, you know this. The ocean knows you're there. You're speaking the same language. Why wouldn't this planet modulate itself to your thoughts? Why wouldn't matter if that is the language it was created in? Hydrogen hears you. Helium, lyrium, oxygen, carbon, gold, silica, they all speak that language that you speak naturally. Why would it be such a distance to say I materialize reality from thought? I biomineralize and shapeshift my own thought realms to form new structures. It's natural and effortless, like breathing. When we examine the structure of the crystals inside our body at this molecular level, we start seeing the different structures. These are light ships navigating center to out, out to in, within and without. Who is navigating all these little crystal ships in your body? What is instrumenting itself to look like this or look like this? These are diatomic, those little creatures made out of calcites and silica. We look at space stations, we look at rhomboids, beam splitters, refractions. If you were to put a laser and put it to any of your crystals, what do you think you would read in there? What do you think, by asking yourself, there are crystals that look like hair filaments, there are crystals that look like So tune into that built-in instrumentation. And know that you can study this. This is just one breakdown of the different sheets, the layering of the silica and calcites in one of the crystals that is made up of these little slices. Could you read these? Absolutely. You can tune in a meditation and say to yourself, I'm going to read one of my crystals, all of the layers. I know how to navigate this. I can go this way or that way and show me what's there. Nothing is hidden. We played in the last retreat with cymatics a little bit of our own voice, and it was very revealing and emotional to many of us to see the projection of our own voice. This particular frequency. We're beyond sacred geometry right now. You couldn't put the geometric shape of this. It's because this is moving all the time, and it depends what angle you look at, and it depends how you light it, and it depends on the sea. Feel infinity being okay with you. How could an infinite being say, this is too overwhelming. I don't understand what you're saying, Vossalium. It's too much. Get that nonsense out of you You can only say, I am receiving this by my infinite eyes. I am cymatically reflecting infinite patterns, and I am okay with that. I don't need to write it down all the time, or record it, or remember it, or put it in order. You do this at will, on tap, all day long. This is the atomic imaging of the molecule to see these hexagonal intersection points where little spheres pack themselves in a very efficient manner into these beehives. And we can express these in abstraction, say here's the molecule, here's the cross-section, and here's the spectral cymatic version of it, meaning it's more complex. But it doesn't really look like that. This is what it looks like in a computer with these techniques. Don't ever feel that whatever science is showing us is the truth. It is an abstraction of the truth, and it is not absolute. This isn't proof of anything to infinite beings. It's like, oh, well, isn't that point? Where is love in that? Where is emotion? Where is intention? We need instruments that can express these things. The first time you see an investigator say, here is a cymatic pattern of compassion, now we know what it looks like. Well, Dr. Emoto went there with his research. So in this course, the Holographic Human, we explored geometry in multidimensional form, not only the colloquial shape of an octahedron, but also its auric imprint and its effect on the world above and below. So you're able to see geometry now and speak of it in multidimensional terms. It's not just a shape, it's an effect. It's a consciousness and a sentience. Within every geometric shape is already built in its dream. Remember that little baby that I showed in the womb projecting the universe? Every geometric shape is dreaming to be in creative freedom, to express itself. It's a kinetic battery that every time you sketch and draw or move or sing or intend something, you already know that expression is containing energy that's ready to do this, to become the environment, to become its own DNA. Every version of this reality, this existence of your body has an infinite, self-expressed, divine natural access dream that's expressing. When you are able to see everything in its future dream, this glass of water wants to do, and this wall and this plastic and all of that, I know its true nature now. It's infinite, it wants to fly. What is my role? To open a canvas of creative freedom, energy in freedom. Show me your dance is what you want to do. Don't limit. Creators create. Creatresses dream. And we are doing this in creative freedom. These images that I've created is just to really quickly illustrate that DNA becomes more DNA. And these travel across the universe. The universe creation is designed and intended as a highway of expression and creative freedom. If you want to be a chess player and learn a few more moves ahead, then you start contemplating other shapes, the dodecahedrons, the hexagons to octahedrons. A simple cube, six-sided thought. Why do we show geometry? Well, now we can't show geometry without its auric, vibrational field. The cubes becoming their own DNA. At what point does a very simple intention become a physical structure? When do we crystallize a snowflake from a thought, a geometric, coherent thought? Let's just say it never is not happening. It's always happening. The moment you acknowledge it is when it becomes so. The famous observer point of view, interfering with the experiment, let's just completely supernova that into, we cannot be present in this universe without doing this. And let's create with that knowledge. This would be fun in my 3D glasses. Yeah. To be a holographic human, to have divine natural access from cell to soul, my gratitude to Akuda for bringing that into my life, that language, to be able to do your body scans, take all old structures and turn them into new cymatic expressions, to have access to all of your systems in this body as one moving creation vessel. It's what we're doing. To bring in your universal multi-stranded DNA and script it, author it. With your words, your thoughts, your intentions, you're creating DNA. This glass of water is birthing DNA as I touch it. So is this room, so is everybody to each other. Latest imagery of brain activity to show the multidimensional physical part of the brain where brain activity, neural pathways are shown in these different frequencies. This coconut here, connected to the entire body, already is built to teleport and time travel and be able to telekinetically, teleempathically be able to reveal structures as soon as we're ready to do it. Take a breath right here. And bring this final part in. This is the Creation Codex. Right now I've only partially labeled these. At some point in my ascension work, creation, I decided to create an illustration of a 12th dimensional thought. That I could dial like a stargate. These rings here, this rainbow, is a continual process of awakening from when I am harmonizing, when I'm radiating, when I'm envisioning, awakening, activating, intending. It's a continuum ring there that is infinite. And this outer ring out here are the different states of energetics that we can work with. Consciousness itself is a substance, like its opposite is water and air and earth and plasma and fire. These are infinite. There's an infinite state of transmutation from being water to air to plasma. See, we learned the states of water: solid, gaseous, liquid. Plasma is the one that we're playing with now. What is the difference there? The amount of energetic that we put in it. You charge water, you heat it up. But what happens after plasma? When water keeps getting more, it will eventually turn to pure consciousness. And that consciousness can give rise to a planet. And that planet can transmute itself through fire back into water and back into air. So these different levels, I'm going to write an entire book just on the Creation Codex. This next ring represents different creation elements. We can create sound or geometry or crystals, magnetism, and they're not discrete. There's a whole spectrum between electricity and sound and geometry and crystal. And the next ring on the inside represents the different intentions, where we focus our creation. If you want to call it healing, we can heal and create with motion. Body, kinetic, moving things. We can create with artivism, being an artist that is an activist, living on this planet, revealing things. And we can create with remembering, and so forth. And as we get closer to the center, we get the different resonances. These are polarities bouncing back and forth to create a new third. This is a three-dimensional thing. I'm just showing a slice of it. The union with our mission, with our purpose, is a particular frequency that vibrates back and forth. The compassion expanding, and notice that everything goes through source. It's like that coherence filter. It's the great transmuter source. You, that little baby that had all the access to all that energy. The frequency of the masculine vibrating with the feminine, the love and wisdom frequencies. And notice these are all Vesica Pisces. And there's a little one here, and they're made of two different colors. So this whole creation codex has intersection points. So imagine you're dialing these like a tumbler. Dial it this way and that way. You start coming up with different combinations. These start changing. If I was to move this ring this way, I could bring body and union and geometry. You start coming up with tens of thousands of combinations of technologies, recipes, healing processes, transmuting. I just wanted to have a mechanism to be able to discreetly dial all of the different combinations of holocymatic orchestration. This just broke AI. Everything I've shown you just broke AI. We're in the realm of natural, organic intelligence. And notice the 12-pointed star here of 6 major points, 60 degrees, like the beautiful grid you guys made outside. And then the smaller version. These two are frequencies that are bouncing off each other. There's a whole much more that goes into this. So it is time in my life to materialize an entire movement. Biofuturism. Let's move beyond the word sustainability into conscious creation. I don't even like regeneration anymore. Anything that starts with the RE now is not even in alignment. We're not rehashing, recreating, rehealing, whatever. And the Vossahedron is that geometry. That's what I call it. That shape is the Vossahedron. The site that we are projecting to create is the center of mass creation. That's what we're going to call the place we're going to build 12 temples using the Vossahedron and the creation codex. And the mantra is, I am the center of mass creation. I am an engine of mass creation. And those two frequencies, when you repeat them to yourself, birth that energy. This is projected to be a 12-dimensional, 12-structural site. There's going to be a temple, and this image is about 12 years old. So I've already changed the names of some of these. I presented this in 2012 at the Free Energy Conference in Holland, the whole Center of Mass Creation and the Art and Science of Conscious Creation, to free energy researchers to have a language of love and compassion. But it just gives you an idea what happens when you have 144 interactions in this integration space.
432.
Yeah, I love it. And we take that one ring that I had in the Creation Codex and bring and reveal the ascension and awakening process. It's non-linear, it doesn't matter which way I first awoke, and what I went through, what I learned. It was just one way to show. This was a website I designed 15 years ago. This was the interface to the website. You put your mouse over these and they transmute. I'm honoring that Vossa that had these ideas and thought realms back then. The problem is that HTML couldn't handle this website at that time. It was still not able to do multi-layered blah, blah, blah. The Vossahedron is the culmination of over a decade of research going to measure energy in cactus and Baja, photography, being able to learn the energetic fields of water, of different crystals, and doing the 3D designs and studying crop circles, on and on and on. The portfolio, the knowledge compendium that has gone through this body is the same as everybody else's here. Acknowledge that is what I'm saying. See yourself as the complete self-realized human ready to create. You don't do anything other than say, I honor every single little thing I studied and learned and practiced and healed, and teachers and channelings and books and so forth. All of it is going into this. Yeah. This is one of the cymatic patterns that activated me to create the Vossahedron. Yeah, I want to be in a structure, a house, if you want to call it that mundane word, that is resonating, so that in the future, real estate developers, which are going to be really home creators, are going to show you the cymatic pattern of the house you're wanting to move in, to show me the imprinted intention in this structure. I would want to work with architects that know about everything I'm saying, and I wouldn't even touch anybody that doesn't know any of this. So before I hire someone, not to work for me, but with me, and empower them, they would have to read my book and go through my course, and then you can build the garden. Right? I'm sharing this in the same spirit of what Akuda is saying. Have the opportunity to bring your knowledge to the people around you that want to create with you. If you're going to have a healer work on you, if you have somebody give you some medicine or cook for you, have them be a conscious individual. That's why restaurants don't help me anymore. We only want to go to conscious places to eat or to travel that know all of this stuff. And if we don't have enough, then we're going to at least do our best to create an entire infrastructure. And it doesn't mean it's my truth, it's everybody's. Each one of you has taken just as much time as I have, and even more. This is the very first 3D model I created of the Vossahedron. I had to give shape to the thought of an architecture of ascension. What shape would it be? And this is what I came up with, an extrusion out of the flower of life. Now I have the creation codex, which is a different geometry than the flower of life, but I'm just giving you the roots of how this started. And this is the pyramid version of it. It's a 12-pointed pyramid. This is a free energy device that heats and cools itself, creates its own electricity, transmutes your body resonance, all those different things. It has like thousands of features I've designed into it, just from that simple shape.
And it's a cactus.
And it has features of a cactus. This is when I first started creating my 3D models. If you look at the elevation here, if you look at the plant view, isn't this a cool looking already? Don't you want to just stand in there of that floor plan?
And the reason like grass too.
It has that feel. So this is where I was experimenting, bringing those thought realms into form. And I worked with several architecture groups to study this shape, and I showed all these different variations of windows. I was still trying to figure out how it's going to be illuminated. I did hand-built models, how these arches are going to stand. See, here's where that thought realm is moving into physicality. Honor each of your little creations, all those little experiments you're doing in your kitchen, chopping something up. All of them are bearing into this universe. See how my templates, everything aligns with all this geometry. This was a sacred path to me. Here's one early concept of the Vossa hedron. This is a 1,700 square foot version. Still rough, these windows weren't figured out yet, but I wanted to start bringing out this geometry.
I'm gonna build one. I wanna live in one.
These are what these temples would look like. I was just starting with no true realistic rendering yet. This is just pure geometry. What these cathedrals might look like with glass partitions inside. This is a 62 foot that has a skylight that is a crystal. This is a spaceship that levitates, because there's a version that has both halves. I'm not going to show everything because that in itself is a talk. There's a masterclass already online that you can watch of the Vossa hedron. Here's one elevation of a 33 foot diameter, 2-story structure with the newer windows, the hexagon windows.
Would you put a Lemurian crystal on the top?
Oh, absolutely. This is the plan view looking down. There's a table that has the 6 chairs and there's a kitchen. And, this one's designed, I outfitted it to be a multi-purpose geometry that could be a yoga, healing, birthing, senior, school, veggie taco restaurant.
Center for Conscious Creators.
Here's a more detailed rendering from the top looking down. It's made of earth with powdered silicone. This is a biopolymer that was used in masonry in the pyramids
Powdered
that I've studied.
Why powdered silicone?
Because it's a biopolymer that is an orgon generator.
Oh, I
It's a
gotcha.
collector, right? So it's powdered quartz and silica in the concrete mixture. There we go. This image is about 8 years old when I did this rendering. Standing on my Vossa hedron.
Is that you?
Yeah.
Where is that?
That's a computer generated image. Doesn't exist yet. But I have 3D models there we've printed, we've made clay and so forth. This, like I said, is another full presentation. So welcome yourself as a holographic human, fully ascended, fully self-realized, ready to create. And the question always is, what do you want to create?
What do you wanna create?
A lot of things.
What do you wanna create?
That's it. Mahalo. Namaste.
Thank you. Wow, that's powerful.
So take some time today because we're gonna have a birthing event tomorrow. So take some time today and think about your self-realized state of being that you're birthing. All that you want to bring forward and create in your body, in your life, for your family, for humanity, for all realms. So that when we go into the intention tomorrow, you're very clear about that. Who you are and what you're creating. Create for your entire genetic legacy.
And so we create.